Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Apocalypse, Washington, D.C. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Now, let's get started. Everybody knows about New York and Los Angeles and San Francisco and all the other horrifically and deliberately mismanaged cities out there, but you don't hear much about how apocalyptic Washington, D.C. is becoming. Well, today we're going to tell you. The politicians have done everything in their power to alienate or get rid of them. As a result, now the city has a shortage of police. And guess what? No one is applying to work at Washington, D.C. as a police officer. Since D.C. now has a nationwide record and reputation of mistreating and disrespecting the police, they can't hire any replacement because nobody is going there. Nobody is applying. Nobody is even entertaining the idea of becoming a law enforcement in Washington, D.C. So, as they lose more and more police, it becomes more difficult for them to respond to 911 calls. And as the remaining police try and fight the criminals, the prosecutors and the DAs simply are not enforcing the laws as well as they should. Let me tell you what prompted me to produce this episode. I heard on the news recently that the average Washington, D.C. crime scene now has an average of 88 bullet casings on the ground. That means when the cops show up to the scene and they start looking around, they find an average. That means sometimes they have more, sometimes less, but the average is 88 spent bullet shells on the ground. Some scenes have a lot more than 88. These are wartime numbers. The other thing is when you see 88 spent shells on the ground, the first thing most people do is they think automatic weapons are being used by the criminals. That's just a tremendous number of shells. So ask yourself this: if the remaining police in Washington, D.C. are so understaffed, if they're so abused and mistreated and poorly paid by the city and its politicians, so overwhelmed by the sheer volume, the high volume of 911 calls, so overwhelmed by the lawsuits that every criminal now wants to file against every police officer for every arrest, with all of that on their minds, how enthusiastic do you believe the police will be about fighting or chasing or arresting criminals that they know will quickly be released by the DA or maybe not even charged and will then turn around and want to sue them? We suspect they're not going to be very enthusiastic at all about fighting crime in D.C. So, how much do you think the average D.C. officer makes for getting shot at by criminals and abused by the city's politicians? Well, they make between $59,000 and $79,000 per year. Guess what? Most used car salesmen make more than that. And you know who doesn't shoot at used car salesmen? Criminals. Well, not often anyways. But so would you want to get shot at and attacked all the time, spit on, have objects thrown at you for a salary like that? I suspect most people would not. In fact, the mayor has been pleading with the feds to send in the National Guard because they claim they're overwhelmed by all the immigrants being bussed into the city from other states. They say they can't deal with it. A lot of people really believe that the real reason they want the National Guard in the city is because they're so overwhelmed by crime that they want to establish an enormous visual military presence to deter the criminals. Whatever the reason is, the city has been so badly and deliberately mismanaged that in the evenings there are so many crimes and shootings that it looks like a war zone, an open war zone. Whenever I think about the statement that said an average of 88 bullet casings are found on the grounds of most typical crime scenes in D.C., I think what all the people and all the businesses must be thinking, in the adjacent area to those crime scenes when they see this, these warlike skirmishes unfolding in front of them. I suspect that they think they will want to vote the politicians out of office. More importantly, I suspect a lot of homeowners and business people will plan on moving out of the city. The quality of life in the city has gone from poor to life-threatening in DC. New York and San Francisco are hellacious war zones. Now we believe that the public will start waking up and seeing that Washington, D.C. also falls into that category. I can't imagine what the city will look like in a few years. Good luck, and thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help get the word out. Thank you, and we shall talk to you soon. Bye-bye.